Every year, we generate a mind-boggling amount of waste. In 2020 alone, the world produced over 2 billion tons of municipal solid waste. That's equivalent to the weight of 200 million elephants. By 2050, global waste is expected to increase by 70%. This isn't just a problem for landfills, it's a crisis affecting every aspect of our environment. The waste we generate comes from every corner of our lives: packaging, electronics, clothes, and even food. Each person in developed countries produces an average of 2.2 pounds of waste per day. Americans generate about 4.9 pounds of waste per person daily. This waste doesn't just disappear, it has to go somewhere. Some ends up in landfills, releasing harmful gases, some is incinerated, contributing to air pollution, and a small portion is recycled. The rest often ends up in our oceans, forests, and neighborhoods. The global waste crisis is a threat to our planet's health, contributing to climate change, polluting water sources, and harming wildlife. We need to understand the scope of this crisis to begin addressing it effectively. Waste comes in many forms, each with its own set of challenges. One of the most prevalent types is plastic waste. Every year we produce about 300 million tons of plastic waste. Plastic is durable and cheap, but these same qualities make it a nightmare for the environment. It can take hundreds of years to decompose, breaking down into microplastics that contaminate our water and soil. Plastic waste expert. Another growing concern is electronic waste, or e-waste. In 2019, the world generated 53.6 million metric tons of e-waste. E-waste contains valuable materials like gold and copper, but also toxic substances like lead and mercury. When not properly disposed of, these can leak into the environment, causing serious harm. Electronic waste specialist. Organic waste, including food scraps and yard trimmings, is another significant category. In landfills, organic waste decomposes and produces methane, a potent greenhouse gas. But when managed properly, organic waste can be composted to create nutrient-rich soil or used to generate biogas. Understanding these different types of waste is crucial for developing effective management strategies. Destroying waste isn't as simple as it might seem. Each type of waste presents unique challenges. Take plastic, for instance. It's designed to be durable, making it resistant to natural decomposition. When incinerated, it releases toxic chemicals into the air, including dioxins and furans, which are known carcinogens. Even recycling plastics involves energy-intensive processes. Electronic waste specialist electronic waste contains a complex mix of materials. Some, like gold and copper, are valuable and can be recovered, but others, like lead and mercury, are toxic. Separating these materials safely is difficult and expensive. In many cases, e-waste ends up in developing countries, processed in unsafe conditions. Organic waste seems easy to deal with, but in landfills it produces methane without oxygen. Composting is a better option, but requires careful management to avoid odors and pests. Even seemingly innocuous waste, like paper and textiles, can be problematic due to chemical treatments and synthetic fibers. The sheer variety of waste we produce makes destruction a complex and challenging process. There are several common methods for disposing of waste, each with its pros and cons. Landfilling involves burying waste in specially designed sites with liners to prevent leakage and systems to collect gases. Incineration burns waste at high temperatures, reducing its volume significantly. Some incinerators generate energy, but they release pollutants and produce toxic ash. Recycling processes waste into new products, conserving resources. Composting turns organic waste into nutrient-rich soil. It reduces methane emissions and produces useful compost. Effective waste management requires a combination of approaches. The key is to balance methods to minimize environmental impact. The environmental impacts of waste destruction are far-reaching and often hidden from view. Landfills produce leachate, a toxic liquid that contaminates soil and groundwater, and release methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Incineration releases pollutants into the air, affecting nearby communities. Recycling requires energy and sometimes chemicals. The global recycling trade adds to carbon emissions. Plastic waste harms marine life and enters the food chain. E-waste in developing countries leaches toxic chemicals. These costs are often not factored into the price of goods. They're externalities, costs borne by society and the environment. Understanding these hidden costs is crucial for sustainability. Sometimes waste destruction methods fail spectacularly, with severe consequences. One infamous example is the Love Canal disaster in New York, where buried chemicals leached out, causing health problems for residents. Landfill fires are another serious problem, releasing toxic smoke into the air and threatening nearby communities. Improper e-waste disposal has led to environmental disasters in developing countries, with workers exposed to toxic substances. Ocean dumping of waste has had catastrophic effects, with medical waste washing up on beaches and causing public outrage. These examples show what can happen when waste destruction goes wrong. They underscore the importance of proper waste management and disposal. They also highlight the long-term consequences of poor decisions about waste. Often, the effects aren't immediately apparent. They can take years or even decades to surface. By then, the damage can be severe and difficult to reverse. These disasters serve as stark reminders of the responsibility we have to manage our waste properly. Proper waste management is crucial to prevent such disasters. Improper waste destruction impacts vulnerable communities the hardest. Waste facilities in low-income areas lead to pollution and health risks. Chester, Pennsylvania faces high asthma and cancer rates due to waste facilities. Developing countries often become dumping grounds, causing severe pollution. Illegal dumping contaminates water sources in indigenous communities. Island nations struggle with waste management due to limited resources. In the Maldives, waste burning on an artificial island releases toxic fumes. Waste management is both an environmental and social justice issue. Sustainable waste management offers a way to address the challenges we've discussed. It starts with the concept of the waste hierarchy, prioritizing waste prevention first, then reuse, recycling, and finally, disposal. The goal is to extract maximum value from resources while minimizing waste. One key strategy is waste reduction at the source, designing products to minimize waste from the start. Reuse and repair are also crucial components of sustainable waste management. Improved recycling technologies and biological waste treatment methods are gaining ground. For waste that can't be prevented, reused or recycled, more sustainable disposal methods are being developed. The circular economy concept ties many of these ideas together, envisioning an economy where waste is designed out of the system. Products are made to be reused, repaired, and recycled. Waste from one process becomes input for another. While we're far from achieving this ideal, many companies and governments are starting to adopt circular economy principles. Education and behavior change are crucial for sustainable waste management. Together, we can create a more sustainable future.